We're now joined by our Baylor Bears head coach, Kim Mulkey, and her student athletes, Alyssa Smith and Kalani Brown. Coach, your thoughts about the game?
Yeah.
I thought so. Okay, we're going to take questions for our student athletes first, please, so that they can return to the locker room. Remember, the locker room is open at the moment, but it will not be open too much longer. We'll start on the front row, on the outside.
Bryce Cherry, Waco Trib. Kalani, 7 players in double figures for you guys. I think it was a Big 12 tournament record. What does that just say about your team?
Our bench is really deep. We have numbers, and we can put different combinations in different players, for different styles of play, which I think will definitely help us in the NCAA tourney going forward. So, today our bench did it for us, and was able to get the starters off to rest. And as long as we keep playing like that, we can go really far.
We've got a question on the platform, or right in front of the platform on the rear.
Now, listen, kind of going on what Kalani said about the bench. You guys outscored them 52-0. Just talk about how deep. Yeah, 52-0. You guys outscored scored them on the bench. Just kind of talk about the performance of you guys, because whenever somebody from the bench comes in and a starter goes out, you guys don't lose any rhythm or anything at all.
It just shows that we're always ready on the bench, so when our name is called, it just shows that when we go in, we need to do what we got to do, and we got to make sure that we could rest our starters for bigger and better things down the road. So when we go in, we got to make sure we handle business so they don't cut the lead.
Your right side.
Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider, and Alyssa kind of relaying off that. The fact that the bench the starters didn't play at all in the fourth quarter, and you guys still outscored them 28-17. Was that a pride thing, that, not to kind of let them cut into the lead, that kind of thing?
Oh, for sure, because when we played them the first time, they cut the lead, and we didn't hear the end of it that time. So we had to make sure this time that when we go in, we had to make sure we maintain that lead and make sure they didn't cut into it.
Question on the right, on the left side, second row.
Alana Bearfield, Big 12. Alyssa, talk about, you're a freshman here on the team. What have you learned from Kalani, during the season? Is she your big sister? Talk to me about, the chemistry between you guys.
I've learned a lot from Kalani. It's actually my mom on the team. She shows me everything to do. She makes sure I'm doing the right things on and off the court. So I just model my game after her, because you see how far she's getting. I just want to walk in her footsteps, do what she's doing.
We've got a question across the aisle. Yeah, halfway back, and then we'll come up to Jerry.
David Smoke, ESPN Central Texas. For either of the players, can you try to describe what it's like, the feeling when you get on one of those runs that just like a tidal wave of points off turnovers or whatever? What's that feel like on the court?
To me, it just feels like you're having fun when everybody's scoring and everybody's getting to play, and you don't lose no energy. We come out with a lot of energy. It's just you're having fun. You just want to smile, and whenever you stop having fun with it, you should stop playing. So.
Same thing she said. It's just very fun just to see everybody getting the score, everybody doing what they love.
Kalani, in a tournament like this where you got 3 games in 3 days, how beneficial would this be for you to sit out the fourth quarter and only play 17 minutes?
It's definitely beneficial for me to sit out, and all the starters at that. The fact that our bench took care of business today shows a lot about them and us as a team. So I don't know. I'm very proud of our bench today, younger ones.
Question on the front, and then we'll go back.
Kalani, Tech scored 104 yesterday, and Brewer had 40, and you guys were able to, to shut them down. And shut her down. Obviously that defense is something that Kim stresses all the time, but, that's something that, you guys will point to as well?
Absolutely. We got the 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. So, there's a lot that goes about us. We take pride in our defense. Coach rides us about it all the time. So, you're just performing, basically.
Anything else for our student athletes before I let them go back to the locker room? Okay, ladies, congratulations on the win. We'll see you tomorrow. Watch the steps going down.
Thank you.
Coach, did you want to say something now, or you just want to go straight to the question?
just questions.
They put me up to this, you know that. Okay, questions for the coach?
Kim, I guess the bench, what they were able to do today, and particularly in that fourth quarter, like Nalissa talked about, they kind of came back on you in that fourth quarter there, what the bench was able to do today.
I hate using the word bench because those kids could start for us. They're that good. It's just y'all don't get to see them because they're freshmen, and you know, what you saw today is the future here. And I'm so happy for Nalissa Smith and those kids that finally just could relax and play a lot of minutes and valuable minutes and didn't look at the scoreboard, not mop up minutes. When you play this many games and you're trying to play for bigger things down the road, as much rest as you can give the ones who get the most minutes, it's beneficial. And it wasn't that they just relieved them of playing time, it's what they did when they got that playing time, and they were so productive.
Got a question that will come across the aisle in a minute.
Kim, Dee is mostly known for her defense and being y'all's stopper, but 7 assists today. I think you guys had a tournament record, 32 for the game. You know, just her passing, is that something that maybe is a little underrated?
Well, I think all our kids are underrated, if you want to know the truth. But we have a hell of a team, don't we? When you have 7 kids scoring double figures, and really, I guess I could have given Queen a few more minutes and a couple more shots, and we would have had 8. That's what wins championships, is your defense first and then sharing the basketball. And we lead the country. If we don't, we're right there at the top in assist to turnover ratio. We're going to share the wealth, and we're going to guard you on both ends of the floor. And I'm not surprised. Dee pretty much can do it all. She can defend you. She has length on the perimeter. She can play point and has on some sets that we have. She never gets tired.
Got a question on the left side, second row.
Tucker Toole, Big 12. Coach, what was your defensive game plan knowing that Brewer scored 40 last night and that Carr was the Big 12 Freshman of the Year?
Nothing any different. You know, we played those guys twice, and we didn't go in there and change anything that we do defensively. Just guard them like you always have. Make sure you have the proper matchups. People that are who's guarding who is very important to me. I thought Dee being on the point guard because DeGrade is not playing as much for them. Dee being on the point guard, Carr was important, and Cox being on Brewer. And those are our 2 best defensive players, and we need to make sure they're on their best offensive players.
Question across the, I'm sorry, go ahead and we'll go more.
Okay. Alana Bearfield, Big 12. You know, you were named Coach of the Year for the Big 12 7 times. Congratulations. Talk to me about your coaching style and how important it is, you know, for you to be out there to have that chemistry with your players to make it this far.
Well, I'm very mild. I'm very meek. I'm very passive. And they want to play for a coach that's like that. No, I don't know. April Fool, huh? Listen, I put those tennis shoes on many years ago and played for some of the most intense coaches, Pat Summitt, Leon Barmore. They know that every ounce of energy I have during a game, they're going to get out of me, and I want it out of them. And they know that behind the scenes, Coach is real, Coach is funny, quick-witted, say things in timeouts that just make them want to bust out laughing, but that's not what the public needs to see and not what the public does see. I really don't care. All I care about are those kids in that locker room. I care about my family, and I care about my coaches, and I care that I represent Baylor in a way to make them proud. I hate losing, and I want them to hate losing. I don't want to coach a kid where losing is okay. And they don't come here to Baylor to win individual awards. They come to Baylor to win championships. And all those kids are excited right now because they all have a championship Big 12 ring. And that's what they come here for, or come to Baylor for, and to play for bigger things than just an individual award.
Question on the right side of the aisle.
Rick Cantu, the Statesman. A little takeoff on that. You said that you thought some of your players were underrated. Is it just because you spread it out so much that it's virtually impossible, if someone's not going to play 20 minutes, for example, that you're going to lose an MVP, for example?
Rick, it's a good question, and I'm going to try to explain this in a way. First of all the kids who won individual awards, congratulations to them. Where I have, it's just hard for me to accept that an individual award, a kid that shoots at 15 and 20 times a game for her team, she needs to do that. I can't fault any kid that does that. But if you're playing on a team, the team that spreads the wealth the most is usually the team that's going to win championships. So why do we not reward those great players that could go to those other schools and shoot at 30 times a game? But they choose to come to a team where it's about the team and it's about championships. Why don't we reward those kids? I struggle with that. When I was a player out of high school, I signed at Louisiana Tech. They made it to their very first Final Four, and they had 5 returning starters, and everybody was like, you're nuts to go there. You're going to be a junior before you play. So go to another school and average 40 minutes a game and 15 to 20 shots a game. Well, is it about stats, really? Is that what it's about? Do you think I could get Kalani Brown 30 shots a game? I don't know. She's doubled and triple teamed, but what Kalani Brown does is she makes everybody around her better because she draws all that attention. So I struggle with, I don't even know why we send out stats when we vote on awards. If you've played people, you should remember who hurt you. If you are recruiting, you should know, gosh, I'd love to have that kid on my team. That's what I struggle with, but that doesn't take away from people who win those awards. Why did I get Coach of the Year? Why did I get Coach of the Year? Because I coach a great team. But yet we can't reward those kids? I'd take my Coach of the Year any day and give it to them. Because I am only as good as those kids. So I hope I've explained it. It's not to take away and say somebody's not deserving of it. Every year, it's an NBA, it's the same thing. You know? Who puts up the most shots? You may be the most valuable player for your team, without a doubt. But are you the best player in the league? That's what I struggle with. Everybody has an opinion, Rick. It's like politics, right? We all have an opinion. The one thing I do wish that we would do is put our name on the ballots. We did that last year. Why? I'm not afraid to tell anybody who I vote for. I just wish that we would put our name on the ballots when we vote at the end of the year. Why not? Y'all do it, you know, when you do polls, don't you? Sign your name, who vote. I mean, I just, I love these kids, and what I love the most is they chose to come to Baylor and share the wealth. And they didn't say, oh, I'm going somewhere else where I can average this and become this or be that. That's when you know you got some unselfish kids. And what a fun group to coach.
This is going to be the last question for Coach on the left side.
Tucker Toole, Big 12. Coach, I saw you had some words for Coach Stallings after the game. What did you say to her knowing that this is her first season in the Big 12?
I don't remember if I said it before or after the game, but I told her she had two quick hitters that I saw her run yesterday, and I might use them for the playoffs. I said I might make a call to you. She wished us well in the playoffs. She thanked me for representing the Big 12 the way we have. I told her how hard her kids are playing, what a tremendous turnaround. It may not show in the wins and losses, but watching the growth of some of those players from last year to this year, complimenting her on things that she's doing from a distance as a competitor, as a coach on the opposite end of the floor.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
We're now joined by the Texas Tech Lady Red Raiders, head coach Marlene Stallings, Kristlyn Carr, Brittany Brewer, and Sydney Goodson. Coach, your thought about the game?
Well, you have to start with giving Baylor a lot of credit. You know, they're number one in the country for a reason, and they played like it today. And they're so physical, they're so deep, and they're so long and athletic. They're hard to go against. We had a good first quarter, and after that, you know, it got kind of difficult for us. But what I will say is I'm really proud of our team because we came from a 7-win season last year when we arrived about 8 months ago, and they have doubled their win total this year to 14. They've quadrupled their Big 12 conference win total from 1 to 5. We've had fans come back in the thousands, and we get to leave this tournament with having scored the most points in a game ever at 104 yesterday. So I'm really proud of our team, our young women, and the start of something special brewing in Lubbock.
Okay, we'd like to ask you to please ask the student-athlete questions first so we can let them go back to the locker room. Start on the left side front.
Tucker Toole, Big 12. This is for all of you guys. And Kristlyn, I know you're a freshman, but how have you guys experienced this turnaround with Coach Stallings this season?
Since I played last year, I'd say the turnaround is just like overall our heart for the game, and just like I feel like even our skill level has raised as well. When they came in, they expected a lot out of us that we had maybe not seen in us before, and I think a lot of us rose to that expectation and really took that into play. And then just like our work ethic and stuff like that has really raised.
Kind of going off that, I redshirted last year, but I got to watch all the games, and I think the most that we've brought is heart. You know, I think we're playing a lot harder. I think we understand to win games in the Big 12, you have to play hard, and so I think that we've shown that.
Like you said, I'm a freshman, but just watching them on TV last year, you can definitely see how much they've grown as players, especially Brittany, just being physical and scoring the ball. She was a big piece of our team this year, so I would definitely say the main thing was growth.
Further questions for our student athletes?
Alana Bearfield, Big 12. Kristlyn, is there a player on the team that you look up to, or a player within the league, WNBA, that you look up to, just, you know, looking at their fundamentals and trying to get better?
I would definitely say I look up to my whole team. They all bring something new every day, whether it's their words or their actions on the court. So I would definitely say I look up to my team, and I couldn't be more thankful to be playing with these girls. And in the WNBA, I watch Maya Moore play a lot. I just like her game, how she plays, and how she plays with toughness the whole game.
Anything else for our student athletes? All right, ladies, we're going to let you go back to the locker room. Congratulations on a great season, and take care. All right, questions for Coach.
Coach Stallings, what are some of the things you're most proud of this team and that you've seen in your first season here?
I think just the fight that really jumps out at me is their fight and toughness. We lost 10 games by single digits, so just a tremendous swing. And we went from some of the kids saying, "Hey, Coach, you know, people don't take us serious even during warm-ups," to being an incredible team. And I told them to leave here, you know, feeling proud about that because they've left their mark and they've helped lay the foundation of where we're headed.
Alana Bearfield, Big 12. You know, looking towards next season, are you going to change up your strategy, regards within your team, anything that you think you can make a change to hopefully win the championship one day?
Well, I took the Texas Tech job to win championships, so that's exciting, big picture. But we have to be realistic in our progression, and you win with talented players and good people. So it's going to take us a little bit of time to get exactly where we want to go, but this is definitely a big start for us. In some ways exceeded even my expectations.
Tucker to a Big 12. Coach, I know Chris Lynn got into some foul trouble there in the first quarter. How much of an impact do you think that made for just the short period of time she was out of the game?
Yeah, it always hurts us if she's in foul trouble that early, but we had to go ahead and put her back in there pretty quick. So I think she was back in there in the second quarter when they really made the big jump, and we never really recovered from it. So, anytime she's out early in the game, it's going to, from our team this year, it had an impact on us, and she's doing pretty good with that, but her physicality got to her a little bit there early in the game.
Anything further for Coach? Okay, Coach.
Thank you.
Congratulations on a good season.
Thanks.
Thank you, everybody.